Check. Well, that is one way to start off a stream. That is one way to start off a stream. Getting rated with a party of 3 was Invader 1250, apparently. Assuming, of course, that my nope. Well, I don't know what happened, but oh, I replayed it by accident. Okay, never mind. I was not, in fact, rated by a party of 3. I misread what was going on, but we do, according to Streamlabs desktop here, have a solid 8 folks on the, here we go. Telemetry enabled, lap data enabled, track map, full track map. We do have 8 people watching here. And we'll be starting off today by watching as we tackle Las Vegas. Tariel out first. And this is a short qualifier today. We've only got about 16 minutes. We've got 25 laps to get through. Vegas here, of course, a course with multiple long straightaways, so expect our racers to hit the top ends of their throttle today. All right, we've got people who have loaded in. They're going through their out laps at this point. And hopefully this week I do not have an issue where attempting to use the menu causes everything to freeze and lock up. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to avoid using the race director and that menu if at all possible. I don't want to have another situation where my Xbox glitches out and I can't exit it and I have to try to narrate it and guess what's happening based on the race standing screen. That was, you know, I enjoy improvisation, but it needs to be the kind of improvisation where I'm making people laugh and I'm having fun. It should not, in fact, be, oh, the game has glitched out, good luck, and have fun. All right, so interesting to note here, Las Vegas, easily the single most colorful track we are seeing, I've seen thus far. And, you know, as somebody who doesn't actually watch F1, it is fascinating to me to see how many of these F1 tracks are just portions of a city that get repurposed, it would seem, almost. Or how often the track cuts across those. I know I saw a minute ago a stoplight, and it said something like 2200 Northwest Street or something like that. We do have a caution out in Sector 1. But it would appear a decent proportion of our competitors today have gotten through their out lap. Of course, Force One Palo is still in the pit. So we've got 11 folks here joining us today. Tariel, 70, Elite Shots, Johnny's Bananas, Soldier One Assault, Pedro Prinza, 31, Hiron Pelosi, Force One Palo, Johnny Happy, Yestim Taki Faini, Martins Carlos, and ABC Africa de Sol. Africado Sul. I don't know how to pronounce that because part of me wants to read that like it's a name with a Spanish inflection, and I don't, surely that can't be it. Surely it's a Portuguese inflection. But I don't know how to do a Portuguese accent or inflection very well, so Africado Sol it is. Africado Sol. Not Sol, Sol. Okay, Africado Sol. That's right, we get international here. So we should start to see people placing their qualifying times. Of course, last week I believe we saw, I can't recall exactly who it was. I believe Soldier One Assault had a very good race last week. I seem to recall, if my memory is correct, it's been a long week. Tariel setting the fastest lap with a 136, immediately bested by Joni Happy with a 134.816. Bested by Johnny's Bananas with a 134.772 for Team Alfa Romeo Kick. Bested by Elite Shots for a 133.124. So, lots of fastest laps here set. Of course, there's still 13 minutes left. Everybody working those soft tires, trying to get really good grip, get a good starting position in the opening grid. We'll see how that works out for them. Yestim Taki Faini with a 133.020, almost a 133 flat. 3 seconds difference here between the fastest and the slowest qualifying time. Matter of fact, we'll flip over to Yestim and see how Yestim is doing. Driving the Jacksonville special here. I'm probably going to use so much random American pop culture references that our poor Portuguese and Brazilian viewers won't have any idea what the heck I'm talking about. I doubt many of them follow the National Football League, which of course does not involve that much use of the foot. Not directly, at least. So, if we are seeing an average lap time of about 1:33, that's, let's see, 90 seconds per lap. So 93 seconds per lap times 25 laps. We should be in for a race today of about 40 minutes or so, 38 minutes. Pedro Proença with a 1:32.704, now with the fastest lap for Team Red Bull. And by the way, folks, I do have my multi-stream chat open in my Streamlabs desktop. So if at some point you feel inclined to interact with me, please do not hesitate to chat me in the window. I should be able to see what you're saying. Lots of people in the pits right now. Hiram Pelosi also coming into the pit. Soldier One Assault still on his outlap, so we'll switch over to Soldier One Assault in the gender reveal special. Soldier One Assault on the outlap, but flying around the track pretty efficiently. Ten, 12 seconds into this lap here, no longer out on his outlap. We'll see what sort of qualifying time Soldier One Assault is able to set. We do have a caution in Sector 2. Not exactly sure who that is. I think that might have been Pedro Proença, who got the caution flag. Might have been, yeah, must have been, because Soldier One Assault's right here. And I do believe that we just got a caution flag, maybe on Soldier One Assault. All right, another caution flag in Sector 1. And in Sector 2 now. Soldier One Assault very calmly handling these curves. Very, just taking it pretty quickly, actually, moving into the gentle curves of Section 2. Again, almost a complete straightaway from the end of, from midway through Sector 2 through the first third or so of Sector 3. Then coming out of that chicane at the end of Sector 3, heading towards the finish line, again, another straightaway. So I would expect lots of overtemps, wow, I can't speak today. Lots of overtaking attempts on the straightaways, especially when we hit the DRS segments. So I would fully expect a very tight race today, given that it seems that in the previous races where most of our racers has kind of shaken out and the pack has thinned out and stretched out, has been on turn-heavy tracks. Good news is conditions tonight are clear. I say tonight. In-game, it's night. Conditions are clear. Little disappointed I'm not seeing the Vegas sphere. I really want to see the sphere making all sorts of, like, crazy graphics in the background. Be like a little less like F1 and a little more like a Mario Kart track. I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, so Pedro Proença still with a 1:32.704 with the fastest lap time. Soldier One Assault still whipping around the track, 1:33.563 for his fastest time so far. We've got about 8 minutes and 22 seconds left if anybody wants to try to unseat Pedro Proença. Of course, they don't want to overuse those tires, and remember, teams are only given a limited number and type of tire to keep things competitive in F1. So you don't want to go, you don't want to blow a tire if you can avoid it, just trying to get your qualifying time. You know, it's kind of funny. Apparently, in the United States, radio stations are required to pause for station identification every once in a while so that listeners will understand and know what station they're listening to, which is interesting to me because I was not under the impression that that was a federally mandated requirement. But according to something I read a while back, it is. Now, that does mean that, you know, you get common during football games, high school football games, you'll hear people say, like, as we, you know, as the kickoff sails out of the back of the end zone, we'll pause for station identification. And then there's a 10 or 15-second pause where the station will play an auto-recorded message. You're listening to WKZR, Boise's Best, you know, or something to that effect. And that's not a real radio station. I just made that up. Also, interestingly enough, the call signs have to do with where the station is located, east or west of the Mississippi, if I remember, interestingly enough. For non-Americans listening in today, the Mississippi is the biggest river in North America, the mighty Mississippi. Let's see, radio station call signs. Let's see, Wikipedia had something on this, as I recall. List of radio station call signs in Victoria. How are radio station call signs in the U.S. determined? Wow, my laptop is moving slow today. Help if I quit out of Marvel Snap, probably. All right, call signs in the United States. All right, here we go. They consist from 3 to 9 letters and digits, as well as their composition determined by a station's service category. By international agreement, all call signs starting with the letters K, N, and W, as well as AAA through ALZ, are all reserved exclusively for use in the United States. Huh, interesting. So AM, FM, TV, and shortwave broadcasting stations can request their own call letters as long as they're unique. FCC policy covering broadcasting stations limits them to call signs that start with a K or W, with K call signs generally being reserved for stations west of the Mississippi River and W stations limited to the east of the river. Well, that's fascinating because you'd think west, starting with a W, would be for radio stations west of the Mississippi, but apparently that is not the case. Who knew? Yes, folks, that's right. I am not just an entertaining F1 broadcaster, I'm an educational F1 broadcaster. Well, we have about 4 minutes and 45 seconds or so left here in the qualifiers. Pedro Proenza sets another fastest lap time, 1:33.352. All right, folks. Less than 2 minutes left here before the race finally kicks off, so we'll see how things are shaking out. But it looks like our field is more or less set. It's going to be, it looks like, Pedro Proenza in first, Soldier One Assault, followed by Jestim Takifaini, Elite Shots in fourth, fifth, Africado Sul, sixth, Johnny's Bananas, seventh, Joni Happy, eighth, Hiram Pelosi, ninth, Martins Carlos, Tariel in 11th. Looks like we might have lost Force One Palo here. I'm not sure what happened there. I missed it. So I do apologize, but I believe Force One Palo might have had to retire. So we shall see exactly how things shake out. We've got about, let's see, how much time do we have left here? 1 minute. So we'll pause. I will grab a Topo Chico. This is not a sponsored post, but I will grab a Topo Chico mineral water, and I shall be right back. Oh my, it looks like we might have lost Pedro Proenza as well. That would be a big blow, given that he was in first place and with just 8 seconds left. I'm unsure if they'll be able to reconnect in time to make the race. Again, we've got a 25-lap race here in Las Vegas. Estimated time to complete is going to be about 40 minutes or so, give or take. So we should be expecting to wrap this one up around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the U.S., where I am broadcasting from. So we've got 2:41 here left before. Wow, that is not staying tight there. 2:41 left before the race kicks over and actually begins. All right, so yeah, it looks like our field is pretty much set. Africado Sul is in the pit still, but everyone else who's still in the race has gotten that checkered flag. So 2 minutes until things get wild. All right, here we go. Fastest time, once again, Pedro Proenza for Team Red Bull with the 1:32.352 is going to be followed by Soldier One Assault. Jestim Takifaini, our only continental European. Oh, I take that back. We've got Joni Happy from Portugal today, driving for Team McLaren. He's in 7th. So mostly Brazilians, a few Europeans, and we have Johnny's Bananas representing Panama today for Team Alfa Romeo Kick. So all in all, relatively tight times. Difference between first and fourth place first and 11th place less than 4 seconds. So things are about to get underway here in Las Vegas. I am not clicking the race director. I do not trust that thing. Oh, baby. Whew. All right, here we go. The green light is up, and our racers are off on the first of 25 laps here. Oh, wow, ramming right into the wall early. I didn't catch the racers, but we do already have a caution in Sector 3. And we've got, looks like Martins Carlos may be in a situation here where he has just now rolls in, disqualified from section. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, he just loaded in and just got disqualified right as it happened. That is unfortunate. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, going up to the front of the pack now, we have Pedro Proenza, followed by Soldier One Assault in the Gender Reveals Festival. Elite Shots, Hiram Pelosi, and Yestim Takifaini. So we'll go ahead and get our menus set up again. Broadcast leader, detail position change stops tire. Telemetry enabled, lap data enabled, track map, full track map. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you get the full smack when it comes to information while watching one of my streams. So interestingly enough, given that this is a sort of longer length race here, we do have most folks operating with medium tires. Again, not as soft as the soft tires, but that middle ground between the hardness of the hard tires, which are going to be used in longer races, and the soft tires for more sprint type races. Tariel, the only racer currently in 10th place right now, rolling with the hard tires. Pedro Proenza, once again, fastest lap time, 1:39.722. Tariel overtaking Force One Paulo here. Force One Paulo already pitting, interestingly enough, on lap 1, switching to hard tires. All right, so here we go. Back to the front of the pack here. We've got Pedro Proenza winding his way through Section 1, whipping around the curve, taking a nice line into the chicanes at the end of Section 1. Again, it looked to me like Elite Shots might have caught some of the wall there. Pedro Proenza now really trying to put some space between himself and Elite Shots. Elite Shots about 1.5 seconds behind the leader. You can see him in the distance. Gearing down here is Pedro Proenza as we head into the long straightaway that's the back half of Section 2 and the first part of Section 3. Elite Shots, Soldier One Assault, and the others trying to keep up, but Pedro putting a little bit of a gap between himself and some of the others. Elite Shots only about 1.2 seconds behind, closing that gap somewhat on Pedro Proenza as everybody in the pack heads into Section 3. Possible race strategies: 1 stop, start medium, go hard, or 2 stops, start hard and switch to mediums twice. Those are the recommended race strategies by Amazon Web Services, as we are already on lap 3 out of 25. Again, fastest lap now, Elite Shots with a 1:33 something. I didn't quite catch it. I might be seeing some effects of lag. I see, Elite Shots is kind of dancing around on my screen a little bit, so that's probably on my end. That also accounts for what I thought I saw him maybe take a piece of the wall earlier. Thankfully, that does not appear to be the case. It looks like it's on my end. Elite Shots doing a valiant job sticking close to Pedro Proenza, about 1.1 seconds behind. Go ahead and take a look at how Pedro Proenza is faring here. We do have a caution lap flag in Sector 1. Doesn't look like there's any penalty, though. No warnings issued just yet. So we do see the pack start to thin out a little bit after about 4th place. Africado Sul in 5th, about 8.4 seconds behind the leader, 8.5 seconds behind the leader, followed by Yestim Takifaini, 9.2 seconds. Joni Happy in 7th with 11.8 seconds behind the leader. Johnny's Bananas in 8th with a 12, almost 13 seconds behind. Tariel 13.8 seconds behind. Force One Paulo, who I believe already pitted. An interesting decision here. Now 30 seconds behind, or 29.5 seconds behind the leader. We are seeing some movement here in the middle of the pack as Yestim, Africado Sul, and Johnny's Bananas fighting for position. So let's go down to the race pod here. We're going to see from Africado Sul's position, Yestim trying to open up a little bit of a lead on him. There we go, yeah. Africado Sul only about 1 second behind Jestem Takifaini. Jestem 2 seconds behind Hiron Pelosi. Hiron about 3 seconds behind Soldier One Assault, as we can see here in the Jacksonville Jaguar special. Oh no, excuse me. Yeah, here we go. Hiron Pelosi doing his darndest to pull up on Soldier One Assault, and overtaking on the right side is going to be, Africado Sul. Africado Sul takes that tight, and Jestem actually swings wide in the turn midway through section 1. So we're going to see Africado Sul overtake Jestem here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, whoop, that is not what I wanted to do. I'm going to go ahead and bring back the, rather than the leader gap, I'm going to go with the interval gap. We'll see how that strikes everybody. So Elite Shots about 2.3 seconds behind Pedro Proenza. Soldier One Assault very tight in behind Elite Shots in the gender reveal special, about 0.5 seconds behind. Behind him, Hiron Pelosi trailing by about 4 seconds, way off in the distance there as we are entering the chicane at the end of section 3 here, midway through section 3. It is wild to hear those powerful, powerful vehicles just gear right down. And we are going to be headed into lap 5, so we'll be 1/5 of the way done here with this race after about 4 minutes. So maybe even faster. I initially had planned on about a 40-minute race time. We may be getting a little faster than that when our racers are really going all out. We'll see. You can see here Elite Shots trying to put some distance between himself and Soldier One Assault. Soldier One Assault, however, not having it as we head into the turns in section 1. Elite Shots, nice racing line. Soldier One Assault the same, swinging wide here as they work for the chicane. Nicely taken on the inside there by Soldier One Assault. Cruising out in front of everybody at the moment is Pedro Proenza, about 2.9 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. And Pedro has been had the fastest lap earlier today during qualifying. Nobody really even challenged him for that. I don't think he was forced to take extra laps to defend that time. So we are seeing here some excellent driving by Proenza, slowly widening out that lead. He's now about 3 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. Again, Soldier One Assault and Elite Shots very tight. And as a matter of fact, we're going to see Soldier One Assault overtake on the left-hand side of Elite Shots. So Elite Shots left the door a little bit open there. Soldier One Assault saw the opportunity, pushed through, and is now trying to open up a lead on Elite Shots, about 0.75 seconds ahead. Well, folks, the one thing is the gender reveal special, driven by Soldier One Assault, always a surprise if you get that pun. There we go. All right, still Elite Shots refusing to say die, only about a half second behind Soldier One Assault. Swinging wide is Elite Shots on that turn in section 1. Both racers taking pretty good lines through that turn. Again, though, Pedro Proenza kind of cruising right now. The other racers, of course, 2.8 seconds behind. So not a whole lot of space for Pedro Proenza, but neither are the other racers necessarily right on him. And, of course, with those tight turns, what does it do to you psychologically heading into the straightaways on Section 2 and Section 3? Not seeing either Elite Shots or Soldier One Assault opening up their DRS just yet, although I do see I stand corrected, Elite Shots putting in some overtake, trying to gain some ground here on Soldier One Assault. And really right up his tailpipe at this point. You can see Soldier One Assault ahead of us here as we join the racing pod for Elite Shots in Section 3, heading towards the finish line for the next lap. And we are on lap 7 already. So these racers really putting in the work here, really trying to keep this keep this one competitive. But you can see here, a bit of a fall off, some overtake power here again from Elite Shots, trying to make that happen. Soldier One Assault not putting in the overtake just yet, but we're not seeing Elite Shots really make up the kind of ground he needs to make another move, especially as we head into the turns here in Section 1. Soldier One Assault slowly pushing out in front of Elite Shots. Elite Shots, again, refusing to just give up. Sticking tight now through these turns. We'll see what happens when they get to the next section. Now, we might be seeing an overtake attempt between Hiram Pelosi and Africado Sul, both for Ferrari here, but it doesn't appear to be that way. Hiram Pelosi now trying to stretch it out. 6 laps on for Hiram Pelosi with the soft tires. Most everybody else using medium and hard. Joni Happy, the only other racer with soft tires. He's got 3 laps on those and is currently 1.9 seconds behind Force One Palo. Force One Palo in 8th place. That's really where the biggest gap is. 11 seconds behind Tariel. Tariel 5 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas. Johnny's Bananas 5.5 seconds behind Africado Sul. So we'll take a look here. Africado Sul is 0.468 seconds behind Hiram Pelosi. Some overtake here from Africado Sul, passing on Hiram Pelosi's right, battling back and forth and narrowly avoiding a collision. But that does end with Africado Sul in front of his Ferrari teammate and trying to push ahead of Hiram Pelosi, putting some distance now, about 0.75 seconds. Africado Sul about 10 seconds behind Soldier One Assault's Gender Reveal Special, however. All right, and it looks like Pedro Proenza has widened his lead to about 4 seconds. Elite Shots, yeah, there we go. So Pedro just kind of cruising again out in front, 4.2 seconds. We are now on lap 8 out of 25, so about a third of the way through. 4.5 seconds roughly in front of Elite Shots and Soldier One Assault. And again, what does that do to you psychologically? You only catch bits and pieces of the leader as you wind through those turns, and then by the time you can catch a consistent side of him, he's on one of the straightaways and trying to put as much distance as he can between the two of you. So what does that do to the psychology of good racers like Elite Shots and Soldier One Assault? Soldier One Assault just overtakes Elite Shots. Looked like on the right side. I caught it on the monitor without being able to see it in real time, but we'll go ahead and see here. Right in front of Elite Shots is Soldier One Assault. So Soldier One Assault timing his overtake well, able to reclaim 2nd place over Elite Shots. We do have a caution flag out in Sector 2 where we've got some bumper cars maybe between Force One Palo, Joni Happy, and Hiram Pelosi. A little bit difficult to tell what happened there, but it looked like 2 or 3 position swaps occurred simultaneously. Joni Happy, 0.2 seconds behind Force One Palo. Overtakes now, and it looks like we might see it again. Force One Palo, they just swapped positions there, 6th and 7th place. Force One Palo and Joni Happy trading 6th place, each one desperate to try to hold on to it. Very tight battle here for 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Only about 0.2 seconds separates each of these racers at most. So those are where the primary battles are right now, folks. We've got 6th through 9th place, with each of them separated by about half a second to a second. That's where the majority of the pack is the thickest. And up front still, we still have Soldier One Assault and Elite Shots trading blows, trying to stay in 2nd. Soldier One Assault actually, it looked like it was dead set even with Elite Shots for a moment there. Pedro Proenza pushing his lead now to 6 seconds on the clock. And just cruising, exhibiting no signs of fatigue, exhibiting just really remarkable driving here. Calm, cool, collected, and why shouldn't he be? He's out front by about 6 seconds and he's got medium tires on, so he doesn't have to stop maybe but once. And of course, when he pits, everybody else who's also using medium tires, which is the top 4 people in the field, is also probably going to have to pit because they also have been using medium tires for the same number of laps. We are on, of course, lap 10. Oh, there is the sphere. I was wrong. The sphere is there. It's just so dull looking. It looks like a camo in Call of Duty that I would stick on my assault rifle. Hiram Pelosi, Joni Happy, Force One Palo trading positions here. 6th, 7th, and 8th again. Little bump there, little collision. Doesn't look like it's, okay, a caution flag, but no penalty. Looks like Force One Palo and Yestin might have been bumping into each other, but no major damage, and the racers are going to continue on their way as they work their way through the beginning of section 1, or the turns in section 1, I should say. Martins Carlos, again, the only person disqualified, and again, unfortunate because just as he loaded in, he was disqualified, and that was really awful to see, and I'm so sorry it happened. Just really unfortunate. One hopes that the netcode in F1 2024 is maybe a bit more robust. But again, now we see here Pedro Proença on lap 10, about 6.2 seconds ahead of second place Soldier One Assault. And the advantage here is he's not having to fight anyone off directly. Soldier One Assault, Elite Shots, trading that second and third spot just at each other's throats. We see Force One Palo and Jestem Takifaini battling for 7th. Jestem looks like he's in control of it. Oh, disaster! Soldier One Assault spins out! Oh my goodness! And his car's gone transparent. I think the AI, okay, he's back now. We might have had a disconnect issue. Some disaster there for Soldier One Assault, who is now 7 seconds behind Elite Shots, almost the exact same amount of distance between Elite Shots and Pedro Proença. So Elite Shots now firmly in control of second place. We will see what happens. This might be a good opportunity for Elite Shots now that he doesn't have Soldier One Assault right in his ear. Maybe he can make some moves and start to really focus on driving, pulling down that gap between himself and Pedro Proença, but maybe not. Pedro now up to 8.1 seconds. Hiram Pelosi overtaking Tariel in 4th place. Again, this is where our best battles have been today. It's been the middle of the pack, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, and there's a wide gap there. Hiram Pelosi, leader of the middle of the pack, the thickest part of the pack, for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th place, 9th place even. Very tight there. Big gap, though, between 4th place Hiram Pelosi and Soldier One Assault, about a 25-second gap. So almost a third of a lap there between 4th and 3rd place. Pedro Proença, again, pushing the interval higher and higher, 9 seconds ahead of Elite Shots now. Soldier One Assault, despite having the disaster earlier, looks like he's holding steady, about 7.8 seconds, not letting Elite Shots get too far away. Jestem overtakes Tariel for 6th place. Both of those two, of course, driving those Jacksonville Jaguar-looking cars. And I call them that, by the way, because Jacksonville Jaguars are an American professional football team whose colors include that sort of bluish green, that lovely color. So interestingly enough, 4th and 5th are racing for Ferrari, and 6th and 7th are racing for, you know, I don't know the team name off the top of my head. Let me look it up. Cognizant, I guess. For Aramco, Cognizant or Aramco, whichever the team name properly is, excuse me. But I have to admit, looking at the logo, all I can think is Wingstop. And for anybody who's American watching this broadcast, you know what I mean. I mean, look at those things. Look at those little wing logos they've got. I'm hungry for chicken now. All right, so checking back up again at the top of the leaderboard. Pedro Proença now a staggering 25 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. Elite Shots pausing just a bit here to swap tires. Soldier One Assault sees that as well, also swapping both of them to hard tires, looking like they're trying to avoid pitting again for the remainder of this race. The hard tires, of course, we are on lap 12 out of 25, so just under halfway finished with this race. If they can survive the remainder of this race on hard tires, they might have a chance. And here's their chance. Pedro Proença just pitted, also switched to hard tires himself, still about 25 seconds ahead, 25.6 seconds ahead of Elite Shots, as a matter of fact. So coming out of pit road, Pedro Proenza not looking like he's going to have any issues there. He's going to maintain that lead. Elite Shots, I stand corrected here. Elite Shots coming on like a banshee, 8 seconds behind Pedro Proenza now. So Pedro chose a good time to take the pit, had almost 20 seconds, ground off the clock there, but is still in a solid lead with 7.87 seconds over Elite Shots in second place. So very good situation now for Pedro. Elite Shots against 7.8 seconds behind. Soldier One Assault, 9 seconds behind Elite Shots. Africado Sul in fourth place, 5.1 seconds behind Soldier One Assault. Hiram Pelosi, his Ferrari teammate, 3.1 seconds behind. Yastin Takifaini, about 1.1 seconds behind Hiram Pelosi, trying to make something happen here. Yestim chasing Hiron and Tariel chasing Johnny's Bananas are two closest racers right now. Force One Palo attempting to put the moves on Johnny Happy down in 10th place. We'll see how that shakes out. So let's check here. Tariel still trying to make things happen, about 1.1 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas at this point. Force One Palo, again, trying to make some things happen. He's in 10th place, 0.768. Chasing Johnny Happy. Johnny Happy about 20 seconds behind Tahariel. Tahariel 2.1 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas. So pack very spread out. And I want to note that we've had a very, very clean race today. We're about halfway through, and watch me and my big mouth, something crazy will happen. We haven't seen the caution car once. So this race, high speed, low drag the whole day. This has been a pleasant watching experience, certainly for me. I hope for everyone else as well. Through Vegas. Viva Las Vegas, baby. So Pedro, again, about 8.3 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. Elite Shots 9.8 seconds ahead of Soldier One Assault, who's 5 seconds ahead of Africado Sul. Hiram Pelosi 4.8 seconds behind. Closest racers right now, Yestim chasing Hiram Pelosi about 0.7 seconds behind. And then we have Johnny Happy about a half second behind Force One Palo. Everyone else is at least 3 seconds trailing their nearest competitor, in some cases 4 or 5 seconds. So the pack very spread out right now. We'll see how things shake out. Remember, there's a lot of racing yet to be done. We are on lap 14 out of 25. That leaves 11 more laps. So a lot can happen in 11 laps, especially in a course like this with so many straightaways, so many opportunities to overtake. But we've seen the top of the race be relatively stagnant for several laps now. So I'm going to pause for a moment to get a quick drink of water for my throat, and I will be right back as things seem relatively static. Pedro Proenza, I should note, just set the fastest lap time today. That lap time being, let's see, fastest lap, stops, position changes, none. Oh, that's right, the gap is the interval. The fastest lap with the 1:35.392. So most racers putting in times equal to or slower than their qualifying times. Pedro just barely ahead of Elite Shots in terms of fastest lap time. Elite Shots with a 1:35.694. Soldier One Assault not too far behind with a 1:36.239. Africado Sul right behind Soldier One Assault in terms of fastest lap with a 1:36.624. We'll take it back to interval here. Pedro still at the front of the pack, about 10.7 seconds between him and second place. We do have a race control warning for Tariel for a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So I believe we are on lap 16. I believe that is the first penalty flag we have seen all day. I'm not going to go into the race director to check that, But what I do believe I can do is I can go to the detail the penalties. Position changes, none. Position change, stops, tire, penalties. I don't know why it says penalties and it's a separate thing entirely, but whatever. So, yeah, not much to talk about here. Tariel did just overtake Force One Palo, however. Force One Palo and Tariel battling back and forth, trying to keep 8th place here. As a matter of fact, Joni Happy in 10th. This trio of cars, as they swing into just past the finish line, starting section 1. These cars are the closest we've got in the entire pack. Everyone else is a minimum of 2.5 seconds behind or so. Hiram Pelosi, the next closest one, with 2.2 seconds behind Jestem. And Johnny's Bananas about 3.5 seconds behind Hiram. But this has got to feel weird as you're sitting there watching this, as you're rotating through the turns. Because you see maybe bits and pieces of your next closest competitors, but at certain moments, I'm sure it feels like you're the only man on the race course, just flying down the track, and that's got to be an interesting feeling for these racers, with all the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas, right through the strip, I guess. My goodness, like I said, that's something that's fascinating to me about watching this as somebody who does not follow F1, is the fact that these things are so the fact that it seems that oftentimes there are not dedicated tracks. They just take a segment of a city, shut it down, and throw the racers out there, which blows my mind. It's fascinating to watch. Folks, I am struggling a little bit to bring you much commentary, given how spread out the competitors are, the fact we have not seen much of the way of any real cautions or wrecks today. There's only been one disqualification, and that was a connection issue. So I do apologize that I'm not as talkative as I normally would be, but the racers are playing it very clean today. We are on lap 18. Last 4 laps feel like they've flown by. So just 7 laps left here in the race today. We might be finished, like I said, right at about 4 o'clock, which would be fantastic. Nice, tight, clean race. Well, again, Force One Palo, now the tightest race here between Force One Palo and Tariel in 8th and 9th place, respectively. Force One Palo, as they move through, where are we here? Through midway through section 1. We do have a caution flag on Tariel, or a penalty flag again, it looks like. Not sure what that's about. I didn't see the notification pop up. But Tariel now, it looks like maybe my guess would be exceeding the track limits. Tariel now about a half second behind Force One Palo. Joni Happy trailing Tariel by 0.8. So Soldier One Assault trailing Pedro Pascal, I almost said Pedro Pascal, my goodness. Pedro Proenza by about 24 seconds. So Pedro opening that lead back up on Soldier One Assault that he had held on Soldier One Assault and Elite Shots earlier before he pitted. And he's now on lap 6 of using those hard tires. So I'd say he chose the perfect time to pit. And that has placed him in a situation where he is cruising at this point. There are 6 laps left. We are on lap 19 out of 25, soon to be lap 20 out of 25. And yes, Pedro Proenza now so far ahead. He is going into the turns in section 3 as Soldier One Assault enters the straightaway in section 2. So, again, though, still a lot of racing left to be done. 6 laps. So almost a quarter of the race left. But at this point, you've got to be feeling like this is almost Pedro Proenza's race to lose. Barring any unfortunate circumstances, a lapse in concentration, slamming into the wall, pitting when he didn't need to, he's got to be feeling good about his position here. About 24 seconds ahead of his closest rival, Soldier One Assault. Moving back through the pack again, Force One Palo and Tariel battling for 8th place as Joni Happy jockeys for 9th. We do have a caution flag out in Sector 2. Again, I would expect that just happened here. And again, I would expect exceeding track limits. I did not see anybody bouncing into anyone else. I did not see any unintentional contact. So I don't think that... I think most of our action here today, most interesting action, is going to wind up being at the back of the pack. We see Tariel overtaking on the inside left of Joni Happy. And now, oh, wow, things battling there. Oh, we do have a collision. We do have a collision. And we do have the AI momentarily taking over. Force One Palo and Joni Happy, race control, 5-second penalty, a severe collision with Force One Palo. So Tariel with a 5-second penalty. Tariel also barely out in front of Force One Palo. Tariel now officially 14 seconds behind Hiram Pelosi in terms of gap. Thanks again to a couple of penalty flags that he's suffered here as we see Force One Palo overtake on Tahariel's left side. Tahariel attempting to stay close, attempting to catch up here. We see Force One Palo pass again on the left side. So Force One Palo about 16 seconds gap between him and Hiram Pelosi. And oh my goodness, Tariel flying wildly off course there, having to work his way back on in that tricky turn near the end of section 1. As the racers now head into section 2, we start to see them again really tight. And we see Joni Happy kind of weaving, looking for an opening. From his perspective, he wants to take that 9th place spot, wants to climb up the ratings here. But Tariel not really giving him an opportunity to do so, playing some defensive driving. Now, I will say we need to take a look back at the top of the list here as Africado Sol overtakes Yestin Takifaini, who has pitted. So we've got Africado Sol now about 19 seconds behind Elite Shots. Elite Shots, however, once again has caught up to Soldier One Assault, about 1.5 seconds behind. Pedro has pitted. Pedro is making the decision to pit, switching off of the hard tires, going to soft tires, looking to try to slam the door. Oh, we were so close. Lap 21 out of 25. The virtual safety car is out. We have a virtual safety car going on right now. So we'll see the pack stack up again. And Pedro's got to be feeling good, I think, about his decision to pit right now, because of how things are shaking out with the safety car. Lucked out a little bit, got rid of those hard tires, moving to the softs to slam the door, maybe going for, I think he already has the fastest time, and it could be Elite Shots. Let me check here. Who has the fastest time? Yestin Takifaini, drive-through penalty, speeding under the virtual safety car. So Yestin hit with a penalty here. Does that change our standings? I don't believe it does. Yestin is in 6th place right now behind Hiram Pelosi. So, yes, Pedro does have the fastest lap time, a 1:35.392 against a 1:36.239 for Soldier One Assault. Several other players also have a 1:35 something or other. Elite Shots with a 1:35.511. Africado Sul with a 1:35.577. Everyone else pushing in the 1:36.137 territory. Did I just see... Oh, okay, I see. I didn't realize this. Either Tariel is AI controlled, or there's a special setting where if you're getting lapped, it goes transparent and you become... people can phase through you. I see that Tariel is currently translucent. Okay, it looks like he's back now. We do have caution flags down on Tariel and Yestem Takifaini. Looks like Pedro Prinza has successfully lapped Tariel. Virtual safety car is out at this point. Yes, it does look like that is the case. Pedro Prinza has successfully lapped Tariel and is really looking to hammer it home and get the best possible race he can right now. So we'll go back to the interval. So it looks like Elite Shots about 8 seconds behind Pedro Prinza. Soldier One Assault 2 seconds behind Elite Shots. Then we've got some wildly varying gaps. 20 seconds between Soldier One Assault and Africado Sul. Then we have Joni Happy just 2 seconds behind Force One Palo, who's just 6 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas. So a wild, wild race. I think I did just see a new fastest lap get called. I do see the map flashing purple. Let's see what happened there. Who has got the fastest lap? Again, Pedro Prinza pushing down into a 1:34.208. So that's where things stand. As Pedro, we are on lap 23 out of 25. Just 2 more laps to go here. And it looks like my prediction is going to be almost right on. Going to have we're going to finish this race here at about 4 o'clock Central Standard Time here in the U.S. Actually, slightly later than that, closer to a 4:05, closer to 4:05 or 4:07 or so, just depending on how everything shakes out with this race. But again, Pedro midway through his final 2 laps here, lap 23 out of 25, 10 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. Pedro showing no signs of fatigue as near as I can tell. Pushing through, guarding this lead just by playing it conservative. He's not going too crazy. He's not. He's sticking around 8th gear. He's not trying to blast any overtake or anything else. I don't even know if you can use overtake when you're in first place. We do have a caution flag out in Sector 1. Not sure exactly what that's about, but it looks to me like Hiram Pelosi and Johnny's Bananas battling a little bit, with Johnny's Bananas currently getting the better of Hiram Pelosi. For Alfa Romeo Kick. Johnny's Bananas trying to catch up to Yestem Takifaini. Bit of a gap between them, though. Johnny's Bananas with a 9-second gap behind him and Yestem. And Hiram Pelosi, the closest competitor to anyone else right now, about 3 seconds, 2.75 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas, as they are in the straightaway in Section 3, or before the first turns. Africado Sul is going to pit here. Interesting choice. Looks like he's pitted to a soft tire. Also pitting is Yestem Takifaini. We'll see if Johnny's Bananas is going to be able to take advantage of that and push on up ahead. So Africado Sul now out of the pit. Johnny's Bananas, as I predicted, does overtake Yestem Takifaini. Hiram Pelosi overtakes Yestem. Terrible time to pit, unfortunately, for Yestem, losing several slots, going from about 5th to 7th place, as we are here on lap 24 out of 25. My goodness, my Achilles tendon is clicking around a little bit. That's uncomfortable. Well, lap 24 out of 25, folks. We'll see how things do shake out, but I would fully expect here, barring something catastrophic, and we have seen that happen before, Pedro Prinza working his way down through his final lap, lap 25 out of 25. Tariel with another penalty flag down in 10th place. A full minute and 2 seconds between Tariel and Joni Happy. Not much to talk about here, folks. The pack is very spread out. We have seen people get lapped at this point. Pedro Proença, 4 laps now on these soft tires, picked his time to pit well, doing an excellent job just maintaining that distance between himself and Elite Shots. Elite Shots with a 13-second gap between Pedro Proença and himself. Soldier One Assault, 13 laps now on the hard tires. The only other racer to have 13 laps on tires right now is Joni Happy with medium tires, 13 laps in. Soldier One Assault in the gender reveal special, 13 laps in with those hard tires. I very much doubt will pit here, given that we are well into the final lap, 25 out of 25, as we see Pedro Proença blast his way through the straightaway in Section 2. No real danger of anyone suddenly surging and taking him out. Again, unless something happens here in these last turns, I think we're going to see a resounding, definitive victory here for Pedro Proença. Here he goes. He's flying down the home stretch, opening up the hammer at the very last second, trying to get that. Let's see if he sets a new lap time. Cuts it. 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, but it won't matter. Pedro Proença is going to finish in first place, 15.1 seconds ahead of Elite Shots. Elite Shots here, flying through, getting towards the end. Takes the ending a little nicer, but yes, that is going to do it. 12.124 seconds behind Pedro Proença is Elite Shots. We have the auto count-out timer going now. 2 minutes, 34 seconds left. We'll see how many races are able to finish. Jestem Takifaini and Hiram Pelosi, the two closest competitors right now. Jestem just 0.5 seconds behind. The question is going to be, can Jestem make up this slight gap? Is there going to be an opportunity? He's pulling up now on Hiram Pelosi. They take that turn into the chicane. He's making a move on the inside, pushes in on the right side. Jestem overtakes Hiram Pelosi. Hiram now 1.1 seconds behind Jestem, 1.5 and falling. Jestem pushing through at the finish line, just overtakes at the last minute, takes 6th place. Hiram Pelosi finishes 7th, 1.8 seconds behind Jestem. Force One Palo should be finishing next, but we have, let's see, is anything going to happen here? No, that'll be it for today. Well, that was a nice, clean race, folks, aside from our early disqualification, which, again, I believe that was a connection issue, not anything intentionally done by our racer. Driver of the day today, Force One Palo. I'm not sure how drivers of the day are determined, but a nice, clean race. Virtual safety car only came out once. So things looking pretty smooth overall as we see Elite Shots in second. Force One Palo with the big dub, with the big victory for Red Bull here. You think they ever get tired of spraying each other with that in real life? I have no idea how often they do that. I assume it's an every race thing. I think it would get a little bit old. But here we go. Here are our, not Soldier One Assault. Pedro Proença finishing in first place with a big dub. Elite Shots in second, moves up to second place overall, it looks like, with 18 points. Soldier One Assault in third with 15. Pedro Proença with 26. So 8 points ahead of second place Elite Shots. Soldier Assault falls from second to third, 15 points. Africado Sul moves up to fourth place with 12. Johnny's Bananas moving up fifth place with 10, putting him 2 ahead of Jestem Takifaini, something like that, who's in sixth, falling to sixth place with 8 points. Hiram Pelosi with 6, Force One Palo with 4, Joni Happy with 2, Tariel with 1. Martins Carlos did not finish today. Again, I believe that to be a connection issue, but thank you once again for joining me here on Twitch, YouTube, or on X, wherever you are following me. And thank you for joining us today with the Brazuca E1 F1 E Racing League for F1 23. My name is Sterling Beard. Please feel free to give me a follow on any platform where you're streaming this. And in the meantime, good day, good luck, God bless.